the voice is activating. It's in a way inherently activating. And what's so amazing about voice work about this kind of voice work is that it is able to awaken a kind of unique way in the body that is this particular feeling that maybe some people might describe as ventral vagal. That's something I explored for a while, especially a couple of years ago, but I'm in a little bit of a different place around polyvagal theory at the moment, so I'm not 100% sold like I was before. But if you want to use like the ventral vagal state, then it's like this delicious, really good sympathetic activation that comes out. It's like the good kind, and it emerges in a way from the parasympathetic. It's like both happening together. And so much of the time there's like a one or the other. It's like, and then you don't get to actually be in the space that is multifold and constantly adjusting to the present moment. And so while I'm hearing that the softening as a word isn't working for you at the moment, as you so beautifully said in your chat comment, it is true that the idea is that out of the softening and out of the melting, when you add voice from there, not from a desire to activate, but just because it is inherent, from there, the voice itself will start to activate into wherever the body is ready to go. And the feeling then from like deep, let's say melting, if that works for you better, deep melting and then adding sound, adding singing, it awakens the diaphragm. And as it awakens the diaphragm is toning more and more in the body and helping the coordination between the diaphragm and the throat. And that allows the breath to come out more fully, more easily. And then there's more power actually available. But it's power from the inside. It's power from the diaphragm on the inside. And a lot of the time what happens in this either or way of working is that it's like the activation of voice is happening with external muscles that isn't allowing the diaphragm to be the thing that starts to activate. And that means the diaphragm is inhibited in its movement. It never gets a chance to actually tone as best as it can. Like that is the work of the diaphragm, is to get stronger and stronger. And as the diaphragm gets stronger and stronger, the voice has more and more power without needing to be fueled by the external muscles. And that is such a magical feeling, a sensation and experience where it's like both things are happening at once, a deep softening or letting go of the muscular system, along with a really intense activation of the nervous system. And that is, in a way, the goal. In a way, it's the goal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what ventral vagal feels like. I personally never, had the experience to feel that in my own body until doing this work. I could feel, and that was sometimes satisfying. And I could also feel collapse because that was my nervous system response that I had to come out of over many years. But it's like there's this everythingness where everything almost feels like it's happening at once that is possible. And I think of how that relates to the way we sometimes talk about voice sounds. Like there's either the belt, the chest voice, or the head voice, or the mix. But actually there's like an everything. There's like a way of singing that feels like it's infinite. The voice can go into any sound. It's not really limited. It's maybe a little bit limited because of the structure of our body, but there's like, we're not just defining and deciding ahead of time what voice to put something in. And so there's so much possibility. It reminds me of that because it's like, we're not deciding, what nervous system state we need. We're allowing it to have like ultimate flexibility at every moment, respond to the moment of the environment we're in. That's the lofty, lofty goal, let's say. Yeah.